Going today, guys. I'm Jason here at RoofSnap.
I'm Katrina.
We just started in full view now. We changed the orientation a little bit. Hopefully this works a little better. You can see right above here on the flat screen, this is where you'll see my hands come onto the screen and actually make the different gestures as we draw a roof today. And then over there, kind of to the right and above Katrina, that's the live feed of the iPad right through the video screen. And what that's going to do is allow you to see the touch points. See those little hands? Those appear wherever I touch the screen. And also, you know, it's a slightly higher resolution than what we can capture when we film the flat screen. So here we're right in the project map in RoofSnap. Hopefully some of you have taken a look at the project map. It's one of the main tiles. Go ahead, if you've got your iPad, and tap right on the project tab, button, tile. Lots of different words for it.
A big purple
big button. We're here in a neighborhood nearby, right alongside the OSU golf course, in fact. And we found a little house here. And just for right now, since this is the house we're going to draw today, I'm going to press and hold on it. Try again. There we go. Drops a pin. You can't see the pin right now, but you will be able to in a minute. It's going to pull in that address for me automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the create button. First thing I want to do is change the office. I want to put it into the office where I have my pricing set up. And we'll give it a name. Got a little keyboard down here. Yeah, I've been decisive today, apparently. And then if you had a customer name, please go ahead and put in the customer name. If there's separate billing information, if there's any insurance details, go ahead and add all of that information. And once you've gotten to the point where you're satisfied, you can tap on done. Of course, if you ever need to go back, you can tap on the edit button and change any of this information as well. Now, we're not going to jump right into measuring this roof. We're going to sidestep and do the main, the secondary point of today's webinar, and that is show you how to create a template. So let's say there's one roofing system that we install over and over again. Perhaps it's our primary manufacturer, JF or Owens Corning or something like that, and we have to use certain products from them, certain underlayments, certain hip and ridge, and we package all those together into a system, and maybe that even allows us to provide a very thorough warranty, manufacturer's warranty. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to do is come back out to this screen here and just tap on Start a New Project. Put it into your primary office, and this one I'm going to call Template. If I wanted to keep this for reference, I could say, GAF Timberline as one example of a system you might install. I don't need any address information or billing information. This is just in order to create a list of items that I'll be able to use over and over again. So what we're going to do then is go straight to specifications. We don't need any drawings and we don't need any measurements for this. We just need to add the products into our specifications section here under the estimate. So let me go ahead and start with the shingle. So if we're going to make a JF Timberline HD, let's tap on that. Color at this point, we do have to pick a color, but it's moot at this point because every time we add this template, it's going to have us reselect a different color. Let's go ahead and tap on Done. Now we go and tap on Add Material here. And let's add all of the things that are going to appear on every roof, or almost every roof, that we would install this system. So we're going to have a Remove and Dispose. Second layer, well, I would say less likely. So we won't add that to a template. Roof decking, you could add one or two sheets if you wanted to and have that appear in every single template if you knew that you would need it. Ice and water shield. Well, let me get the GAF Weather Watch. Underlayment. How about the Tiger Paw? Actually, no. See how I tapped it again and unhighlighted it? Let's turn off Tiger Paw and let's turn on Deck Armor. Let's fasten that down with plastic caps. and use the GAF Pro Start starter and a closed valley system. Now if you do metal at the eave edge and metal at the rake edge on every job, you could go ahead and add those right here into this specification. And step flashing. I would say step flashing is more common than it is not. And for some companies, you may be replacing the apron metal at your horizontal or your level with ground, walls. Chimney flashings. Now, here's the thing about chimney flashings. You might have chimneys on most of your jobs, but how many are you going to have? What size are they? And because the chimney flashings are not related to a linear measurement or a square measurement, they can be pinned right onto the roof. So while you're drawing it, you can account for those types of accessories. Shingle fasteners, however, we'll definitely want to go ahead and add a 6 nail for this system. You can pick whichever type of fasteners you would want. And then the GAF seal ridge and a ridge vet. So let's do the GAF Cobra Snow and Country ridge vet. Now off ridge vents, this is kind of like the chimney flashing again. It doesn't relate to a measurement. It's just, it's a one item. So if you needed a turbine vent, you could pin that onto the roof while you're drawing that. And we'll actually do that on today's project. We'll pin some of these off ridge vents and some other accessories. Same thing with plumbing boots. Now paint and sealant, if you knew that you would need 1 tube of NP1 and 1 can of spray paint on every job, and maybe you know you'll need a 20-yard dumpster or a 40-yard dumpster. Again, all of these items can be customized. And if you haven't seen how to customize your office and set up your own unique items, check out one of our account setup videos.
We go into pretty high detail on how to set up your account and get these products in your app to begin with. But we really wanted to highlight template building today to show you how you can kind of auto-populate this system of roofing in all your projects going forward once you build this.
And you know what? As an add-on, you could even add gutters and downspouts to your template just to have it included on every estimate. And you know what? Why don't we give that a shot today?
Sure.
So let's put 5-inch gutters and 2 by 3-inch downspouts. And gutter screens, no, let's not do gutter guard for right now. Second story, nope, we'll get those when we label the roof. And gutter accessories, well, we're going to need to account for gutter accessories, but again, they can be pinned right onto the roof or they can be added manually once you do a count. RoofSnap's not going to be able to tell you how many A-style elbows and miters and things. You're going to have to do a physical count of that and then add it to the estimate manually. And that should do it. So let's go ahead and hit the done button. And there we go. So this is the list of items that we want to have in the template, and it's very easy to create a template. Any specification can be turned into a template by hitting the little save button down here. I'm going to tap on that, and let's call this Timberline with 5-inch gutters. Timberline with 5-inch gutters. And I'm going to tap on Create Template. Now, I've made many templates already in this office, but this little folder down here in the bottom left, this is where they all live. So when I tap on that little folder in the bottom left, you'll see that as I scroll down, they're in alphabetical order. Timberline with 5-inch gutters is at the bottom. Now, I don't need to worry about this project anymore. I'm going to leave it, just in case I ever wanted to change one item and add a different item and make a slightly different version of a very similar template.
Maybe you make the same one with a 6-inch gutter.
Yeah, or with a different underlayment, or with a different hip and ridge. Or if you just have an upgraded shingle, but all the other items are the same, you could delete out the shingle, re-add in the new shingle, and create a new template with all the same products. It's totally up to you, however you want to make these templates. So let's go back to the projects, and let's go back to the webinar that we had already started, the webinar project, this one here on Lion Drive. And in order to use the template here, we need measurements.
Yeah, we need to measure this roof and maybe throw in some of those accessory pins, and we can pop into our specifications after that and show you how to throw in that template we just made.
Great. So for anybody who hasn't measured a roof before in RoofSnap, what you're going to do is tap, there we go, right here on RoofSnap. This is where all of the sketching takes place. You'll see that it opens up the address of the project. And my personal preference is I always like to point the camera straight down. The camera? No. The house, the driveway, the door.
You've got drone imagery on
I've
the
got
mind,
drone
don't you?
imagery. Aim, camera,
straight down.
Yes, I do have drone imagery on the mind. So we have a few different map views for this. Looks like Google Satellite is going to be our default. And I wonder if, no, nobody logged in there to NearMap. One of the things that you may have noticed if you upgraded to the newest version of RoofSnap lately is that there's a new little button up here in the upper left-hand corner. And this little button gives you access to the highest resolution imagery available. If this button is not appearing, then that means that you have no NearMap coverage for the address in question. But I want to go ahead and tap here because this tree is in my way. This Google image isn't going to cut it. It's not very high resolution. It appears a little distorted. Let's see, how does it look on the screen up there? Well, it looks terrible on the screen up there because again, we're using a webcam on a screen. But look at the one here on the other side. And Katrina, does it get any better if I turn up my screen brightness a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A little bit better to see,
right.
at least on the iPad.
Let's go ahead then and tap on NearMap. We really want to see what kind of options we have. So the first thing it's telling me is multiple imagery dates. And here in Columbus, we're definitely looking for March images. Early spring images before the leaves start to grow on the trees. Mm-hmm. Price, well, it is $5. To get a high resolution image from NearMap is going to cost you $5 for each address. But I'll tell you, I think it's worth it.
Absolutely. Makes it so much easier to see and draw. And
this screen here is just a little bit of advertisement. It tells you about NearMap, about what you're going to be purchasing. And of course, this image here on the right is the same house as the image on the left, just split right down the middle. The satellite image on the right, you can see we can't even draw the whole house on this side of the image because the trees are in the way, and you can see that the camera wasn't directly overhead when they took this image, whether it was a satellite or what have you. And the distortion is going to cause some accuracy issues. But here on the right, you can see how clear it is. I can see vents and pipes and different things on the roof. This is what you get with NearMap. So let's go ahead and hit the purchase button. Now it does want to remind me to make sure I'm zoomed in all the way, and I did zoom in all the way before I started this process. If I needed to go back out and zoom right in on the house before making my purchase, I could hit cancel, go back to the beginning and zoom in again. But let's go ahead and load in some of these images. So I've purchased my NearMap. I have success.
Look at that.
And the first image is fantastic. Clear, leaves fell off the trees. I can see all the edges of the house. Except you notice here on the right, there's a little bit of sidewall. I can see a little bit of siding. It tells me that the camera is, it's slightly to the right of the house. It's not perfectly overhead. So let's jump down to March 23rd of 2016, another spring image. And this one, not quite as clear, not quite as sharp, but those rakes and that wall is much, it's much clearer. It's much better. Looks like they flew 2 days in a row. So let's jump to March 22nd. I don't hate it. It's got a few shadows. But actually that looks like a really nice image as well. Just a little bit of curvature, or not curvature, but a little bit of angle. September, that's going to have leaves. June, well, let's just see what a June image from NearMap looks like. I mean, it looks nice, just can't see the left side of the house here. So I think that this one, either of these two March ones will probably yield just about the same results. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one. Now, before I start snapping and drawing the image, See, if I put 2 fingers on the screen, I usually use my thumbs. I can make it dance around. No, I can get it nice and straight along the ridge using my one red line, left and right, and then straight along the other ridge. That lets me know that I have a really squared up image from which to draw. So I'm going to use that just as it is and tap on the snap and start drawing in the upper right hand corner and click on the continue button or tap on the continue button. There's no clicking yet. It's more of a tap.
Select. All right, and that has taken us to our drawing screen. Kind of lock that image in there.
Yeah, and you'll notice we have some different buttons down here along the bottom. Let's see. Down here along the bottom. Draw, edges mode, facets mode, pins mode, and pan and zoom. And it starts us in pan and zoom. 1 finger on the screen, we can move it around. 2 fingers on the screen, we can really zoom in on this. Now, we don't want to put it too far to the right because there's going to be some drawers that pop out. So we might want to think about those drawers. When we pan and zoom in, we can just keep it a little bit left of center. That's what I typically like to do. And then let's just start right with drawing a few of the lines of the roof. So when I tap on draw, you'll see that it highlighted the draw button. And I put my finger on the screen. Now I have a cursor. Red circle with a red line up and down and another red line or sort of a dotted line left and right. And I'm not going to lift up my finger at all, this drawing one. I'm using my index. Put the cursor right where you want to start a line. So I'm going to start with the highest ridge first. With my left thumb, I just tapped on the screen. Notice it turned the cursor green. And now, no matter which direction I go with my finger, I never pick it up, but I can draw out the length of that line. And as I draw the length of the line, it's actually telling me up here how long that line is based on the scale of this image. So yes, when you use a near map image or a Google image, the scale is imported automatically from the map. Now that was a horizontal image, that was a ridge, it's level with ground. So that image is going to be, that measurement is going to be accurate without even putting in a pitch value. Other lines like this valley here, so let's go ahead and put the cursor right at the bottom of the valley. Tap on the screen to start the line, come up. It says it's 15.3 feet long, but the thing is doesn't know that we've just drawn uphill. So the length of that line at 15.3, as soon as we put in our pitch values, that line will get longer when we've labeled that it's also that it's a valley line. And it'll count for the pitch and the angle of the roof on both sides, the left and the right. Since it's a valley, it has a slope on one side, which could be different from the slope on the other side.
Absolutely.
So in order to start another line, you can't just sort of draw it as you might see fit. You have to bring your cursor to the point of the line. You'll see it jumped and turned into a really big circle. And actually, if I let it sit there for a second, I can pick up any line and move it around and put it exactly where I want it. And then tap on the screen. It's all about tapping. It's tap, draw, tap. So we tap, draw out the line, and then tap again. Now this time I didn't pick up my finger. My finger stayed on the screen the whole time. Tap again. Now I'm going to close in the right side of this sort of this little front gable. And as soon as my cursor hits the point of that other line, it turns into a big red circle, and I tap. And now I can lift up my finger. After I tap, I can lift up my finger. Tap again. Tap. 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 I'm going to say tap every time I hit the screen. Well, you know what? Because,
it really does help when you're starting off to really get a sense of how this stuff works.
Absolutely. Many of you will draw out one roof and you'll be like, oh man, they were like so ridiculous. It's so easy. Especially if you're used to devices. It's very easy. Let me not sidestep what I'm doing here. Pan and zoom. I've switched to the pan and zoom button a lot so I can zoom in on areas. Back to draw. But as I was saying, people who use a lot of devices and they're comfortable with technology pick this up really fast. It's not a straight line there. So let's put our cursor on it, set it there for about just about a second, maybe even a half a second, and then I can move it over and make it straight. You know what? Still not straight. Let's move it down. My hand was in the way. I couldn't see my cursor tail. I use these cursor tails up and down, left and right. That's why I made the image straight to begin with, is I wanted a nice straight image, a nice straight drawing, and those cursor tails are going to help. Now, granted, sometimes the rakes aren't perfectly straight, so I typically follow the rakes. It's slightly out of straight, but it's still going to be a nice looking image when we're done. So let's come over here and grab this one, bring this rake down, center of the gutter. If you want to draw as accurately as I pretend to, or as I believe that I do, as I'm pretty sure that I do, I draw to the center of the gutters. And then underhangs. I can't connect a gutter that's 5 feet below a rake to the rake. What about the step wall? Well, RoofSnap takes care of all of that, so I just draw past because we all know it goes past. There's some length of underhang there, but I don't want to stop here. I want to go all the way up because if you've ever drawn a roof on graph paper or if you've ever installed this step flashing, there's a little pocket there and a little connector line. And we'll put it right there, and again, I like to keep it nice and straight. Okay, move the image around a little bit. Let's draw across the front of that eave. Come up the valley. Tap. Tap again. Don't forget to tap.
Do I get to say the taps every time you tap? Tap.
That was like delay.
Tap and tapped. Close that in. Tap again. Oh, just kidding. Hover and move.
Hover and move it in a little bit.
Tap to lay it back down.
Pitch change, what do you think? Do you think there's a little pitch change there? Or do you think it just goes further down and then comes back up?
I don't know. Is there a way that we can kind of look at that a little closer?
There are lots of ways. And I'm glad you said that. It's like, segue me in, Katrina. Straight down views, sometimes it's hard to see certain kinds of details. Chimneys.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. Bay windows.
Jinx.
You're it. Or, you can't talk. Oh, wait, I can't talk. All right, you have to do the rest of the demo. NESW buttons here across the top. These are going to show you directional images. These get imported from Bing, so let's tap on them and see what we can see. Looks like it's this one here. Notice 2 fingers on the screen. I can zoom in. I can't see much from this angle. That's the area in question. Of course, we're going to keep an eye out for any bay windows or any eyebrows. Go to east. Here's the back of the house. See a little section that goes past, but again, still not super high resolution for Bing. But we've got a couple other views that are going to be a little more. So there's that section again here. I think it just comes down below and has a little rake that comes back up. But let's take a look at all of them real quick. Oh, I already tapped on that one. And the front of the house in Bing. So this is really going to help us get a sense of the roof, get a sense of the pitch even. Of course, we always recommend that you verify pitch on site, but we are going to look at some pitch tools today.
Yeah, great.
All right, back to the drawing button. Let's move that to the center of the gutter. Come up. And let's bring the valley line down first, because it's going to give me a sort of a better idea of where things are going. Sometimes you draw what you can see first. It makes it easier to draw what you can't. This, I think, comes past a little bit and probably has just a little piece of connector flashing or apron or something back in there. So we'll just draw it just as it is. Let's come down the rake on the other side. Tap. Don't forget to tap. Tap when you start, tap when you stop. And for those of you who are tired of hearing me say tap, just trust me, we get a lot of phone calls.
We do, but I promise after you draw a couple roofs, you'll get used to the touch sensitivity and how to work with this stuff. It's going to be like second nature to you.
Well, people want to own their measurements.
Absolutely.
They want to be responsible for creating accuracy, creating accurate measurements. They don't want to pay a ton of money to somebody else who may or may not be reliable to create their measurements. And it just takes a few roofs to get comfortable. So while we do get a few phone calls, people wanting to know how to make it work, and we of course typically point them towards these videos. Once they've done 4, 5, 3, 2, it's different for everybody, but it's typically less than 10. And once they've done their fair share, they're flying. They're doing a roof like this. I'm taking my good old time for the purposes of showing you. But they'll do a roof like this in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Have everything labeled, all the pitch values in.
Easily.
Yep. I want you guys to see those last 2 lines, and I want to highlight the undo button here. I want to undo that last one. So this one is going to connect to the bottom of the valley. There's a yellow line there. Probably hard to see because it's yellow, but it turned red, it connected. I tap and continue drawing over, and it's going to connect again to that one right there. I tap and close both of those lines. Now I want to show you what the drawing looks like when all the lines are drawn and I tap on the facets mode, the middle button at the bottom. Everything highlights blue. Let me show you what it looks like when I draw a big rectangle here, but I don't close it in. For one, it doesn't highlight blue. Let's say I drew the 4 lines and I decided, I didn't connect them. Well, let's just try to slide it in and make it connect. There we go. It looks like it's touching. No, that doesn't work. You actually have to draw it from end to end in a single motion and snap the lines together. That's why we call it RoofSnap.
Yep.
If you don't snap, watch what happens when I really zoom in. Oh, look, they look like they were connected, but they weren't actually connected. And even if I'm zoomed in at maximum zoom and I touch them, once again I switch to facets, no highlighting here. Now I got a lot of lines that I don't need anymore, so let's delete a few of them. Now there's another way to delete lines that I haven't mentioned yet. And it's not meant to be hidden or a secret. It's just, lots of options, lots of buttons. Change to edges. You'll see this window pop up over here. And you could delete all the lines. I don't recommend that you do that unless you really want to start over from scratch. And you can tap on that, and it will give you a confirmed deletion. I'm going to cancel though. I don't want to delete all that work. But instead, I'll just press and hold and delete that one line. Press and hold and delete that line. Press and hold and delete that line. This feels like Measurements 101.
It does.
I want you guys to know how to get through all of these little functionalities though. Pan and zoom. Come back over. Edges. Eaves, rakes, ridges, hips, valley, step, wall, pitch change, and of course delete all. We're going to estimate this roof with that template that we just made 20 minutes ago. And to do so, I need to know more than just eaves. So I'm going to tap on eaves a second time. Do I want to put edge metal? Yes. Do I want to put ice and water shield at the eaves? Yes. Do I want to add gutters? Yes. By adding those 3 sublabels, I can tap and add that information to all of them. Let's say I didn't want to put gutters on all of the eaves though. I could turn gutters off for just one section, tap on it, and then turn gutters back on for the remaining sections. That's what sublabels are for. Being able to select which areas get certain types of accessory materials. I noticed from afar that this line wasn't quite straight, so I wanted to straighten that back up. Jump right back into edges. You can do this in any order. You can jump around if you feel like jumping around. You can do it in a very routine order, the same way every time, if that's your style. And I definitely recommend routine whenever possible. I'm going to put rake edge. Rake edge is my subline label that I've added here under rakes to account for rake edge metal. If I didn't want to put rake edge metal on all of them, oh, you guys noticed I tapped on the ridge and made it rake by mistake. So I think I'll go to ridges next.
Yeah.
And I'll tap on ridges a second time because I'm going to guess that most people are going to put ridge vent on this and this one. And maybe not this one here in the front. I guess it depends on whether there's attic space in there. Let's assume there is. All right. You know what I like most about this roof? It has hips.
It does have hips.
So many roofs we draw, they're either all gables or they're all hips. And we usually like to show off, rakes and step walls and things like that. Roofs with all hips. And when we use it as a demo, sometimes it kind of tells a lie. It doesn't give you the full picture.
It's true.
Anybody get that? These hips do lie. But not in RoofSnap, because they're drawn accurately. We've just labeled both of them. It still says 12.8 feet on both of those hips. But they'll get longer as soon as we calculate pitch and put in the pitch values. Let's add ice and water shield. That's another sub-label. You notice sub-labels underneath every single line except for hips. Hips don't have sub-labels.
Yep.
Unless, I can't think of a reason why you'd need sub-labels. I don't think anybody puts ice and water shield on the hips.
I don't think so.
Zoom into this little section here. I was looking for a joke in there, but I felt like it was already...
I feel like you already got it.
I feel like I already got it. I don't know if I got it, though. Wall. We haven't tapped on wall yet. But you notice when we tap on rakes, it remembered rake edge. We tap on eaves, it remembers eave and ice and water shield and gutters. But we need a little piece of wall flashing in here. I'm going to call it apron because that's what the software calls it. Let's tap on walls a second time. Grab the apron. You know what? Let's add a little piece of ice and water shield in there. Why not?
Sure.
It'll never leak. Well, I guess that is debatable, but I always like to put ice and water shield in those locations. Back when I was still selling roofing. And the walls, it remembered the apron and the ice and water shield. Gonna have to look at this. I think that there's a big cricket on the back of this. See it?
Yeah.
Big chimney, big cricket. Let's press and hold. Go. You know, I went into the edges mode, press and hold. Delete that. It was like something doesn't look right here. Pretty sure it comes down, jumps over, comes down to here. We'll be able to make it perfect because, you know, valleys have some width to them, but I'll bring it back just a little bit, right about there. And then on this side, there's a little piece of valley that comes up to here. So what I'm assuming is that it's probably boxed in. So let's box it in. You wouldn't always draw chimneys like this, but if you wanted to account for a very large chimney with some extra flashing detail, you could label up all the lines around the chimney. We've got another method for taking care of chimneys. I'm going to call that one a valley, call that one a valley, and that one there is going to be a, I don't know, let's look at it. I think it's time for Google Street View and Apple 3D Flyover.
Yeah.
These two little buttons in the bottom right hand corner are going to show us more supplementary imagery. The little man on the right, tap on that. Google Street View. Is that it? I never know which side of the street we're on.
Is there an address?
Yeah, right. Look for the address. Or just come back out. Zoom out a little bit. What are we looking for here? We got one gable on the right and a driveway on the left.
Mm-hmm.
To pay attention to I have to pay attention to the details. There, it's that guy. The big tree in the front yard.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So we move over a little bit. You know what? They do need a new roof. So if anybody's in the neighborhood, you might want to pop in and give them a call, give them your business card, send them an estimate. Right in the mail. Just draw it, send them an estimate.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. All right, so here's a gable. While we're here, we can't see the backside of the house in Google Street View, but we can see this gable, and it's straight, and it's facing us. And we've got a little pitch tool up here in the upper left-hand corner. Let's tap on that. Tap on Continue. 2 fingers. Let's make it bigger. Zoom it in a little bit. Once we've zoomed it just a little bit, we can move it around. 412, nope. 5, nope. 6, really close. 7, too steep. 6 is a little too steep, but 5 isn't quite steep enough. I always round up. Let's call it a 6. Let's leave Street View. Nothing more for us to see there. Let's tap on the other little button next to the little man, the Street View button. This one's the Apple 3D Flyover button. You may or may not have Apple 3D Flyover coverage in every place where you sell roofing, but when you do, you get an amazing product. You get an amazing feature that is provided by their coverage. This is the house. I can zoom in on it, I can move around on it, and if I take 2 fingers together, let's see, 2 fingers together and move it up and down, it changes from a very low to a very high straight overhead view. And let's see, we want to see that chimney, but from a slight angle. Gonna move it just right of center. And I've got a magnification button up here in the upper left-hand corner. So let's tap on that. Pitch change, valley, valley, with what looks like a straight wall, apron wall there. Apron on the side here. Step's going to be, actually no, that's step. That has to be step that goes down because it follows the slope. I'm not sure. We definitely want you to climb up on the roof and double check that one, right?
Yep. On-site inspect that bad boy.
But here's what I think's going on. So I think that the pitch change is here, and let's put ice and water shield in the pitch change. And then I think that this is an apron wall. Call that apron. I think this is also apron wall along the back. Step wall down this side. So we're going to go to step. We haven't used step yet, so we got to add the step flashing. There's the step flashing, and how about some more ice and water shield? Tap on step down the side, and then step there as well. And the last little bit of wall right there, and a little bit of valley that comes down into the 2 gutters that meet on the inside corner.
Got a little trigger happy there.
Oh, did you just get it for me?
I got it. Yeah.
You got it? Yep. And the last little bit of step flashing on the house, we've zoomed in on that. Go to step, tap on it, and get that little connector.
Great.
All right, facets, that's the next spot. So we measured a 612 on the front. I'm going to go right back into the Apple flyover because what we didn't show you yet is that you can use this tool to get pitch. That's why we have these big red cursors right on the screen. So take 2 fingers and get as low in the screen as you can. Find a gable. Is that a gable? Or is that a hip?
I can't tell.
Gable.
Yeah.
Find a gable that you can see when you are low in the screen. Take the little red line and run it along the ridge. Oh, that's what's happening. It wants to turn on me. Okay. I may not be dead on the ridge, but I'm pretty close. I'm going to take a measurement while I'm there. Open my little pitch tool.
And follow those rake lines.
6 is a little steep. It's maybe a 5.5. 5's not quite steep enough. Let's turn and get another section. Let's see what we can see. We got the ridge here on the back. Let's put that one in view. I'd usually get a little closer, but I've got this camera in my face. So I can't get quite as close as I normally would to squint and see what I can see. Could be a 5. And what else do we have? There's going to be trees on this side. That's okay. Well, you know what? I bet I can see the opposite end of the house by just looking across the roof. Let's zoom in. Well, some of it has disappeared into the shadows. Let me move into the shadows of that tree. Let me move back just a little bit. You always want to put the crosshairs very close to the ridge, where the ridge meets the rakes that you're measuring. You want that section to be in the center of the screen. I can see what I need to see here. I'm not sure if everybody's going to be able to tell what I'm doing. But I want to bring the 5 down, see if the 5 looks like it runs. 5 doesn't quite run to where the bottom of the gutter is here on the left side. So I think it's a 6. I actually think it's a 5.5, but we're going to round up to 6 for accuracy purposes. We don't want to be short. I'd rather be a little bit over. So let's go to pitches. Now, if you want to know which 0 belongs to which facet, since we have a bunch of facets, you can tap on the remove button. Tap on any of the zeros and you'll see which one it applies to. You notice this one here? That's the chimney. Well, I don't need a section of roofing where the chimney is, so I actually want to turn that off. No need for it to be highlighted there unless we want the extra waste. And if you do, leave it on. But if you don't, turn it off. If you know your pitches, We believe these are all 6s, so we can go to pitch, tap on 6, and then tap on apply to all. Put 6 on every single slope. Let's say we had one that was different though. Go back, 812, tap on the 6, tap it again. You can turn them to whatever pitch is selected. I'm going to go right back to 6, hit apply to all again, and there you go. Low slope, if you're going to do a Florida room and it's attached to the house and you're going to put some membrane or some rolled roofing on it, label it low slope. It's going to separate out that section and basically tell the software we're not putting shingles here. Low slope means we're not putting shingles here. That's the best way to describe what it means.
Yep.
2-layer, when you do your on-site inspection, you can see if there's 2-layer. Second story, if you've got estimating for insurance and you're going to get some extra 2-story money, or if you have to pay more labor to your crews for 2-story, that's what that's for. All right, we're still broadcasting. We're still going live.
Yeah. You guys still with it?
Yeah. Thanks for spending some time with us today. I have no idea how long it's been. I can't see the clock. Can you see the clock?
8:41. All right.
We can be done in 5 minutes.
Still got a few things here, but yeah, we can estimate this roof.
Well, we've got pins, exciting pins.
Yeah.
The inspection pins. These you can use to attach photos and notes right to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that in so many other videos. Check out the last video that we did just before this one. We went into, we got actually a really nice impromptu
Mm-hmm.
photo of Katrina. She wasn't even expecting it, and we pinned it right to the roof.
It's true.
So check out the last video just before this one.
Yep.
You have to go to our channel to find it though. RoofSnap, YouTube. Pins. I said we put some off-ridge vents on here. That looks like a power vent to me in the center. So let's grab a power vent. You know what? Let's upgrade it and do a solar vent.
Ooh, fancy.
Put a solar vent right there. Let's take a picture of the existing solar vent. I don't know what's, there's my cup. Take a photo. Use that photo. Let's add some notes. Make sure the crew gets a copy of this report we're going to generate. They'll know where the solar vent's going.
And you just tap anywhere outside of that note field to save that note.
Off-ridge vents, box vents. Looks like there's 2, one on each side of there. And some B vents. Let's go to flue and chimney caps. There's B vent cap. Let's grab 2 B vent caps. And there's going to be at least 2 soil pipe boots on here. I can't quite see them, but of course when you're on site, you'll be able to measure them, see if they're 1 to 3, 4 to 5. And again, these can all be customized. These items are just examples for the sake of these webinars and demos. You can make your own, and we'd love to show you how. Giant chimney. So let's say we're going to need some specific chimney flashing. Let's go to chimney flashing, grab the extra large. We don't have an extra large, but that's the large chimney flashing kit. Stick it on there. And in doing all this, by pinning, we're actually adding items to the estimate by pinning. So it's for inspection, it's for photos, it's for notes, but it's also labeling the accessories we're going to be installing when we replace this roof. And that looks good. Double check my facets. Everything is fine. 612. Let me draw your attention to the done button in the upper right hand corner. Tap on that, and that's the save button. So if you are drawing a monster roof, tap on that done button from time to time. That way you can save your progress just in case your battery were to die or something like that.
Absolutely. If you need to leave something and come back later, just tap on done and you can always re-enter your project.
Yep. This is our auto waste calculator. You may use it by tapping yes. You may reject it by tapping no, and set your own waste. Either way. Let's say yes for now. Go directly into measurements, the next tab beneath RoofSnap. There's our 10.51, and I'm going to leave it, but if I wanted to change it to 12 or 15 or whatever, it's totally up to me, and in turn, it's totally up to you. I can verify my eaves, rakes, ridges, hips, valleys, step wall. You know what I couldn't measure from overhead, though?
Downspouts.
Downspouts. You do have to manually put in your downspouts. Let's say we do a count, and there's 80 linear feet of downspouts. So I'm going to manually put in 80 feet. You don't have to hit save. That's going to save automatically. Specifications. Well, we're not quite ready to build an estimate. Let's take a look at the measurements. So I'm going to jump to Documents, Sketch Report. This is the one that you may want to share with your adjuster or your project manager or your colleague.
Crew.
Definitely, yeah. Copy to the crew so that they can't come back and tell you were 4 squares short.
Yep.
Sketchreport.pdf. As soon as it's ready, you can tap on that and open it up. This document is customizable. It will have your company logo once you've uploaded. That near map image right on the front. The Bing images, all the directional images from Bing. Pitch breakdown, including the chimney that was cut out. 612 on everything. All your measurements and all your labels and all of your categories and all of your quantities for all of the measurements that you took, along with a breakdown by area, and all of your pins and all of your pictures and all of your notes. So you can see how this could come in handy. This is a great inspection document. You could have 50 photos and notes and pins. You could pin a photo to every pin, and I recommend it. Share button in the upper right hand corner here allows you, when you tap on that, to send it as an email, a text message, Google Drive, Dropbox, what have you. That's how you send it out from your iPad. I'm going to tap on the Done button to close down that document and go straight into specifications. Here are all the items that we pinned. Now that solar vent, I could actually edit the price within here. I must have put this solar vent in without a labor cost when I customized my office. So if you see a 0 price, you might want to go in here and manage the price. So let's say the labor to install it is $50, and let's say the solar vent itself costs $300, and let's say the total price that we're going to charge is $550. Save changes. Now we've got $550 up here in the upper right hand corner as the cost for that solar vent. 2 box vents, the price was already set up on the website. We'll have you look at one of our account setup videos to learn more about customizing your pricing on the website, or join us on Thursdays live on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do one tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to set up an account.
Super exciting.
Plumbing boots are already in here. Chimney flashing kit's already in here. The steep charge, because we have a steep charge set up, is already in here for the 612. Now you may not do a 612 steep charge, but you may do a 7 or an 8, and you can customize that as you see fit. Let's go to select shingle. Oh wait, no. We already created the template.
We did.
Awesome.
Did the work for...
The work is done. You don't have to go in and add all those things. You just come down here to the folder, scroll down, and grab your timber line with gutters. Specifications. The template is loaded, and it asks you again to pick the color. Let's do charcoal. Now there's
all those items.
Yeah, look at all those items automatically loaded in. You can't forget items when they're already loaded into the template. Mm-hmm. But what you may find is a $0 item. Not on this roof. Let's say there hadn't been any apron flashing or any step flashing. Well, those items may have been a 0 price. But in this case, every item that we loaded in the template exists on the roof. Except for elbows.
Elbows, that's right.
Elbows and miters.
Let's add a few of those.
Yeah, let me show you how to add a few elbows and miters. You just tap on the little I button here. Go to Add Material. Scroll all the way down. Or use the little search bar and search for elbow. There we go. A style, B style. Done. You know what? We're going to need some miters, so let's go back in again. Add material. Let's scroll down. I like to just see all of them together here. And tile adapters, inside, outside, outlet, funnel. Done. Come down here to the bottom. Now, you see all these items have plus minus buttons. So let's say we need 10 A's. Save. We need, sorry about that, I bumped the wrong button. Plus minus button, 10 B's. I'm going to do one more. Tile adapters, let's say we need 5. You get the picture. I'm not going to change the quantity on every single one, but you manage quantity of each of these types of items when they aren't auto-calculated for you from measurements. Mm-hmm. Last one. custom line item here. I tapped on the I button, went to custom line item, tap on that, markup. If it's a difficult job, if it's insurance, if it's 5 trades, you need to add 20% markup. Or discount. If you're going to give them a discount to meet a negotiated price, you have a coupon, take 5% off. Regular price. If you've got a custom item that you had to get a bid on, or more importantly, let's say you're going to be discounting the price by $500 for a same-day purchase or something like that. So there's 500 unit price, quantity 1, total price. It's because I had 20 in there. There, I tapped on coupon and it recalculated for the total price.
You might want to make that a negative.
Oh, you know what? If I make that a positive, it's going to add 500. But look, Katrina, thank you.
You're welcome.
If I add a little negative, tap on coupon, there, now it's negative 500. So this can be a positive or a negative. Not a lot of people know you can do a negative line item in here.
Yeah.
Tap on save, and you'll see the price after everything refreshes drop by $500. Jump over to our documents, generate a new estimate. Let's see what a single template style estimate looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like a normal estimate.
Yeah.
Quantities and line item pricing, that can be turned off or on depending on how much information you want to show. See the gutters, they're itemized separately in their own little category, and the coupon is in the other category at the bottom with the total price. And that's all the estimate is, line items and prices. The contract, however, which can be signed right on your iPad, will show you quantities, total price, your specific terms and conditions, which can be customized all through our website. I'm going to tap, give it a quick little fake signature, save that. As soon as it generates, I'll jump back out to the documents and I'll see the contract PDF. There it is. Tap on the contract PDF and open that up. We have the shingle and the color and the fasteners and the starter all right at the top, along with all of the other specifications below, including the gutters, the contract cost, terms and agreements, customer signature with the date stamp.
Nice.
And the best part is we can just email that right into whoever needs to have a copy of it.
Perfect.
That's pretty much it for today's detailed demonstration of measuring and using a template and making a template. There are material orders, there are pre-start checklists, there are project summary reports and labor summary reports, and all that stuff would be ready to generate if we weren't out of time. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Yeah.
I hope that this methodology helps. Please leave us a comment or let us know within our YouTube video if this works for you, seeing our hands on one side, and then over there, seeing the actual screen. We want to make it as useful for you as possible. But as I always say at the end, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Over there, there's going to be a button, subscribe. We'll put another video, let's see, here. We'll put another video here if you want to see another one. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.